Whew. Alright. Can I just start this video off by saying Oaken is a monster, dude. How do you stop someone like that? How do you stop someone who's immortal? Because holy crap. Our characters have done everything, but like, it ain't doing anything to him. But before we get into that, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, I know this is a pretty late one because I've had a super busy, tiring day today. I'm honestly exhausted right now, but I had to come do a video for you guys, and I feel weird when I don't do a video as well. So we had to hop back into this ranking of King's greatness. And what an episode we kind of came back to. Like, holy crap. Now, I'm still feeling a little under the weather like yesterday's video, guys, so bear with me a bit if I sound a little out of it still. I should be better today than yesterday. But, yeah, let's just kind of get into it because we got a lot to talk about. Especially with Bosse and Miranjo, because in this episode today, we finally get a bit of info on Bosse's history with Miranjo, dude. I'd argue that's the majority of this episode today, and that's been the mystery throughout the whole show so far. Throughout the entire show, that's been our mystery of how does Bosse and her know each other? How have they interacted with each other? And we finally get a bit of answers in this episode. So let's kind of get into it. Because we find out that when Bosse was younger, as we know, he used to travel around the world and go fight people to get stronger. He was that kind of guy. Like, Bosse honestly could have been the main character of his own kind of show set in this world, but alas, he's not. Anyway, he used to travel around the world a lot, and one day he ends up in the Homa Kingdom. I believe it's Homa. Again, handy dandy notepad coon here to save my ass yet again. But yeah, he arrives in the Homa Kingdom, where it's revealed that in this kingdom, people can learn to use magic that only the gods know how to use. Only here. This is the only place in the world where people can learn how to use magic that only gods know how to use. And so, of course, naturally, people flock to it. They want to learn these secrets. But what's not discovered is that in this kingdom, the gods are actually taking that and using that to their advantage. So in that when people attack them and they defeat them, they can enslave all these people, all these other countries that have attacked them. And no one would even be the wiser. It's honestly brilliant when you think about it. So the gods are using this country basically as their way of just taking over everywhere, taking over every country. And the people that figure this out first are actually the Homa themselves. It's their own people figure this out, and they plan a giant revolt against the gods. And before we get into that, we got to talk a little bit about Bosse and his relationship to Miranjo and her family, because it's revealed that on his traveling journeys when he came to the Homa region, Bosse actually had a fight with her father. They had a life or death fight with each other, as warriors. Her father was a amazing mage in Bosse's words himself. So if he's praising him this much, he must have been a top tier person. He must have been at the top of the food chain in terms of power. And they had a duel with themselves, and Bosse ended up killing him. But in a strange turn of events, Miranjo's mother actually saves Bosse's life, which is very strange, and he even notes that himself. But after she saves his life, Bosse decides to stick around, actually, and look out for Miranjo in a way, to watch her grow. And we see that at a young age. She's such a kind and caring person, just like her mother. Her mother teaches her every day to be kind and courteous. And there's a saying she even says in the episode that says, base your happiness on the happiness of others, which really goes to show you, like, she's a far cry from the Miranjo we know. And Bosse sticks around and just watches her grow over, but eventually they have to start fighting against the gods again. because they are revolting. They are the only country that realize what the gods are doing, so they fight against them. And Boss has been fighting alongside them, and they won a many battle. They won many battles against them. Having Boss on your side is definitely gonna lean more on your side in terms of fighting. Boss is a beast, guys. No matter what he's done, he's a beast. He's on your side. You're taking dubs. But eventually, they got worn down. So they actually had to go to a neighboring kingdom. And give me a second, guys. I have to flip through a handy-dandy notepad, no editing tonight, guys. I'm so tired. We're fuck it. We're doing it live. Yes, he meets Miranjo and her father. We've already covered that. We need to go to the other kingdom. Da-da-da-da-da. Yes, but eventually they need help. So they actually go to the Gayakusa kingdom, who are their neighbors. And they're hoping that when they see that the problems that are going on, that they will help them. Now, the Homa expect to go there, not necessarily expecting a warm welcome, but they expect to go there and to put their differences aside for to fight the gods. But is anything in life really that simple? Because you see, the Gayakusa kingdom is a far cry from the Homa kingdom. That's filled with people that are willing to help you, kindness, and just compassion. The Goma kingdom is a very impoverished kingdom, if you will. Its people are truly struggling to survive. They know nothing but hardship. So when the Homa kingdom come in, they have nothing but resentment towards them. Because you see, they've had to fight for everything in their entire lives. All of it. So when people come in and extend kindness to them, in their point of view, for no reason, they resent it. They don't like it. They push it away. But the Homa kingdom eventually does find their way into the Gayakusa kingdom. And they actually teach them a lot of stuff. They teach them magic and to how to improve their lives and their everyday situations. To the point where the Gayakusa kingdom becomes a very prosperous place. They've improved greatly. But the resentment in people's hearts hasn't changed at all. And we've seen in our flashbacks that the people of the kingdom take advantage of the Homa residents that are there. To the point where even Miranjo's mother gets taken advantage of on a daily basis. And she believes that she can still help them out. She can find a way to their hearts. Which unfortunately doesn't happen. Because we get on to our next scene. And with a scene like this, it's kind of easy to understand what happens. Because you see, they start losing the battle. The Gayakusa and the Homa kingdom together eventually start losing the battle against the gods. And stricken with fear, the Gayakusa betray the Homa to the gods. And it's in this process that we see Miranjo's mother was brutally murdered by the Gayakusa citizens themselves. And man, that was kind of a hard scene to watch. Because we've seen in the flashback, actually, I didn't mention this earlier, but Daida is actually seeing all of these memories from inside of Boss's mind. Because he's still inside of his mind prison. And let me just say, like, Daida, what are we doing with Daida at this point? Like, we've essentially written him out of the whole season. He's been inside a Boss basically the whole show at this point. Like, what are we doing with Daida? He's kind of like us at this point. He's just kind of watching. But he sees the stuff that's went down through Boss's eye. And we see that he still has little Miranjo with her. And I can only assume it's in this scene that she gets scarred. Because we see with Daida that she's wearing the mask. And that she thinks she's hideous. So I can only imagine the atrocities that after killing her mother, they might have done to her. And I'm not going to say I kind of side with Miranjo now, but it's kind of easy to understand why she'd have so much resentment and hatred towards these people that were just so unbelievably cruel to her for actually no reason. It's insane. So I definitely feel more for her. And it's crazy, man. They really did them like that, you know? They really treated them so badly after they came in and just improved their kingdom. They sold them out like that. It's really an eye opener. Unfortunately, things like this happen in everyday lives too. In our country's struggles with other countries, this happens all the time, and it's just a shame. But that's about half of our episode. Now, our other half after this, because we don't really get much more after that. After we see the horrors of Miranjo's past and Boss's connection, we actually transition over to Bocchi's continuing fight with Oaken. And let me just say, man, Bocchi's putting in the work. To see Bocchi now compared to how he was at the beginning of the series is crazy. To say he's a much more fleshed out and developed character now is an understatement. He's damn near a different character now with how much he's grown. But even then, it's not enough against Oaken, who from the previous episode we know is immortal. And Bocchi is the worst person to fight against him, because as we know, Bocchi's ability is to hit people's weak points. But if you're immortal, you don't have weak points. There's nowhere anyone can hit on your body that can take you out at once. So he is struggling immensely against Oaken, to the point where Oaken gets the upper hand, and he's about to take Bocchi out. Like, he's about to kill Bocchi right then and there, until the captain of the underworld and Despa come to his rescue. And now we get a face-off between brothers. Like I said in my previous episode the other day, now that I understand that they're all brothers like that, this scene kind of hit a little harder, you know? So they start fighting with each other, and, you know, it's as you would expect. Oaken is demolishing them. He takes out... Oh, I dropped my pen. I seem to do that every video. Oaken actually takes out the king of the underworld. Or the king of the underworld. The captain of the underworld guard. Quite handedly. Pretty easily. We can see. And Despa, as we know from this episode, he's not a fighter. His strengths lie in analyzing his enemies and being able to predict their movements. He's the big brain of the army. He's the tactician. Let's call him that. So he immediately realizes he cannot win a upfront battle with Oaken if Bocchi can't. So Despa, in a one final attempt to atone to his brother, he is able to parry his sword and get him into a lock. And he even tells his brother, like, should we take this next lightning bolt together, brother? Because this whole time, Desha has been sending lightning bolts down from the underworld to try to attack Oaken. And he was able to stop the first one with a very cleverly timed attack of his own, using his own sword as a lightning rod, actually, to avoid his vitals. Very smart, honestly. So Despa's idea is to hold him in place and for them to take the lightning bolt together. But just like in every anime and every show, guys, he has the flashback. And as it's going on, I'm literally screaming at my computer like, no, Despa, don't do this. Don't have the flashback. Because every time a character has a flashback, when someone's brainwashed or under control in an anime or something, you know what's going to happen. He has a flashback of how his brother used to be. And his brother tells him, I'm not the one you need to save right now, Despa. Don't worry about me. And Despa, he's like, what are you talking about? You're the only reason I'm here, blah, blah, blah. But it's in this moment that Oaken stabs Despa in the chest, apparently through his heart. And we're left to believe that Despa's dead. Now, in a fit of rage, Bocchi actually does inflict a lot of damage onto Oaken and would probably have taken him out. But yet again, that immortality is just something that you can't handle. And it looks like Bocchi's gonna die again until Kage jumps in there, and we see a new form from Kage. Apparently, this is Kage's like inner rage, I would imagine, coming in. He turns into this giant monster and swallows Oaken whole. And that's how our episode ends. And this episode was kind of crazy, guys. In a way, you know? We got to learn some much needed information about Miranjo and Boss's past, because in this show, let's be honest, like the real big like question that we've had throughout the whole show is, what is their relationship? Because we see what it is right now, but we don't really know the full scale of it yet. Even after today's episode, we really don't know everything. Because after that initial fight with her father and we see Boss was looking out for him, like, we don't see him there. We don't see how he reacted to his mother, or to not his mother, to Miranjo's mother dying and all that. So I assume in the next couple episodes, we're going to get some heavy episodes, but it's just really good to finally get some information about them. Because they really have been, like, the mystery of the show. Like, what is Boss's relationship to this woman? Like, what happened in the past that gives him so much emotion that he would betray his own kingdom, seemingly, his own wife, his own family, to help her out. It's really good that we got some info, and I'm sure we'll get even more in the future, but you guys let me know what you guys thought. I know this is a late upload, but I couldn't leave you guys hanging, you know? So let me know in the comments what you think about this episode, because I wouldn't say it's as heavy of an episode as we've had recently, but it was chocked full of information. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Like, I don't know. But like I said, it's late. I'm tired, guys. So I think that'll be it for today's episode. You know, I had to cover a bomb-ass episode of Ranking of Kings with you guys. We're almost done with the series, too. So, in the comments, leave another series you guys want me to check out. Like I've told you before, this isn't a series I thought I would like as much as I did until I actually sat down and watched it. So throw me some curveball, guys. Throw me some curveballs. Like, let me know in the comments another series you guys would want me to check out. Kind of surprise me, you know? Don't say anything like, oh, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. Unless you guys really want me to cover that, which I will. I like these series and all that, but, like, kind of throw me a curveball, you know? I'd be very interested to see what my audience actually really likes. So if it has enough upvotes or interest in the comments, I'll definitely check it out. So let me know. But yeah, guys, I think that'll be it for today's episode. We had a pretty good episode today. But hopefully the next one will be just as good. So until then, I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And yeah, just deuces. And have a blessed day. I'll see ya.